What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Jermall Charlo, WBC middleweight champion. You know, he was fighting in Houston about a couple of months ago and defended his WBC belt and defeated Adams in a very competitive fight. Even though Jermall won most of the rounds, it was a very competitive fight, and Adams put on a good showing for himself. Now I'm hearing some rumors about his next opponent. I'm hearing that his next opponent could be Dennis Hogan. Dennis Hogan will move up from junior middleweight to middleweight to take that fight and fight for Jermall Charlo, WBC middleweight champion. As you know, Dennis Hogan was last seen fighting Jaime Munguia here in Houston. I was actually at that fight, and I thought Dennis Hogan won that fight. A lot of people in the crowd thought he won that fight, as the judges gifted Jaime Munguia a decision. Munguia didn't look that well at all in that fight. I believe the weight he could no longer make, and he forced himself to make that weight, and I think it took a lot of his energy and stamina away. He was weight drained going into that fight. But that's not Dennis Hogan's problem that night. Dennis Hogan won the fight, you know, fair and square in my opinion. So if Jaime Munguia had problems making the weight and didn't perform up to his ability because of the weight issues, that's his problem, not Dennis' problem. So he won that fight, got robbed by the judges, and now I'm hearing that he's slated to move up to move up to middleweight and fight Jermall Charlo. You know, recently Dennis Hogan signed with PBC and Al Heyman. Now he was scheduled to fight Erickson Lubin. And they was going to do that fight on the undercard of the Adrian Broner Ivan Reddick fight that's slated to take place in October. But now that both of them guys have signed their contract, they're going to go their separate ways. Erickson Lubin is going to instead fight another opponent. And now what I'm hearing is on that Erickson Lubin is actually going to fight Terrell Gasha, the guy that fought to a majority draw against Austin Trout in a fight I thought he won, and the majority of the people watching that fight at the arena thought he won, and most of the people that viewed that fight thought he won. It was a very close fight, but I thought he won that fight. He had fought before that. He fought J-Rock Williams and gave J-Rock Williams a lot of problems in that fight. J-Rock eventually won that fight, but he gave him some problems in that fight. So he's a very solid veteran junior middleweight. So I'm hearing Erickson Lubin actually going to fight Terrell Gasha, and Dennis Logan is being slated to fight Jermall Charlo, move up to middleweight and fight Jermall Charlo for the WBC middleweight championship. That's what I'm hearing. That's the rumors I'm hearing. You know, my people that I know that's close to the situation is telling me that's the case. We'll see if that plays out. But again, Jermall Charlo, WBC middleweight champion, versus Dennis Hogan, coming up from junior middleweight. I believe Dennis Hogan is actually ranked number 6 in the WBC. That's the title that's currently held by Tony Harrison. And as we know, Tony Harrison is getting ready to rematch his Jermall's younger brother, Jermall Charlo, in a grudge match. That's one of the most anticipated fights at the end of this year, 2019. They're just looking to try to get a date for that fight. I'm also hearing that fight is could possibly be on the co-main event for Wilder versus Ortiz too. But we'll see how that plays out. There's a lot of moving parts for PBC, a lot of moving parts and a limited amount of dates. So that's why everything stands right now. But again, you know, Jermall Charlo, PBC is trying to find him a credible opponent. He's having a hard time. You know, most of the title holders are with the zone. You know, you look at, Canelo Alvarez. You look at Triple G. All those 2 guys are with the zone. You look at Demetrius Andrade. He's with the zone, so he doesn't have a lot of options. You know, a lot of guys that are ranked are not brand name, not guys that's going to excite the fans. So they're going to have to try to look like they're looking to pull up Dennis Hogan. He's got, like I said, he's got a decent name in boxing. A lot of people said, he defeated, Jaime Munguia. Should have been the WBO junior middleweight champion, but got robbed. We know politics involved in boxing. Jaime Munguia is the main guy, is the cash cow, one of the top guys on the Golden Boy promotion. You can make a case that he's probably the number 2 guy behind Canelo as far as on that status with Golden Boy. So they didn't want to see him lose that fight, and he was able to escape with a decision. But Dennis Hogan is now with PBC, and like I said, we'll see what transpires. But I'm hearing again that he will be Jermall Charlo next opponent for the WBC middleweight champion. And that fight is slated to take place sometime in the winter of 2019, if they can get it in during that time. Now, maybe it get pushed back to 2020, early 2020, but they want to stage that fight at the end of this year. So we'll see what transpires. They got a lot of dates. You got the December 14th date. Maybe it could be a co-main event for J-Rock and Jarrett Hurd. I doubt if that's the case, but that's one of the possibilities. PBC's got a date on November the 2nd, FS1. Maybe that's the headlining fight for that date. Or maybe they try to put that on the Deontay Wilder-Ortiz card. Maybe that's the co-main event, and maybe they move his younger brother Jermall and Tony Harrison rematch. Maybe they move that to another date. Maybe they move that to maybe that'd be the co-main event for Jarrett Hurd and J. Rock Williams. So this is like a lot of moving parts. A lot of these fights will get finalized and confirmed in the coming weeks and coming months, and we'll see what happens. But that's what I'm hearing. Again, Jermall Charlo versus Dennis Hogan for Jermall Charlo WBC middleweight championship is what I'm hearing is going to take place sometime at the end of this year, November or December. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. Holla.